Welcome back to yet another episode of The Insight. And today we have another entertaining one. And we shall begin this episode by the saying, I have a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream. Those were the words of Colorado's quarterback Ryan Staub after the victory today against Delaware. There's so many things for us to talk about today. The game was not only exciting, there's a lot of different storylines that we're going to be touching base today. So stay tuned, welcome in, join us. It was certainly a fun game, today up in Boulder. Colorado, uh, played against Delaware and they won 31-7. But after that game, the talk of the town right now, as it stands, is who is going to be Colorado's quarterback? Who is going to be Colorado's starting quarterback going forward? That's something that we still don't know. And everyone is asking the question, when are we going to know who the quarterback is going to be? And you know, but in this at this time, I would definitely give you my insight. I would definitely let you guys know what I'm thinking. Uh, but I'm excited. I'm excited for the season. I'm excited for Colorado's future. As we know, before I even go deep into it, right? Last year, Shador Sanders, right, NFL quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, was the starter. The man is good. The man was really good and is really good. And there's a reason why he was touted to be first round, right? There's a reason why, right? There's a reason why last year there was a reliance on Shador Sanders' play and it was reliable. You could count on him, no issues, right? And now that Shador Sanders is no longer with the Colorado Buffaloes, the team is on this quest to figure out who is going to replace him. Yes, they brought in Caden Salter. Yes, they recruited Julian Lewis. They still had Ryan Staub and a few other quarterbacks that they also have. But if there's one thing about this was there were three people in competition for the starting job. Caden Salter came in senior superstar. We all know what he did at Liberty, right? He could run and throw the ball. And he came in, I believe when he transferred in, he had the upper hand, right? Being that this is his senior year, given that he's a winner, and he had the chance, right, to come and lead this team and earn this job. And I believe he did. I believe he did. If not, Coach Prime wouldn't make him a starter, right? And we all know the phenom, the future quarterback of the Buffaloes, Juju Lewis. The kid is 17, right? He probably should be in high school, right? But he's here. He has an opportunity to learn. So there's no point of rushing him. But he's doing a good job to the point where I believe on the depth chart, he's QB2. But if there's one thing, right, QB3 Ryan Staub has, right? He has the opportunity and he has the know-how. He's been in the system for at least 2, 3 years, studying under Shador Sanders, right? He's been in the system, right? Studying under Shador Sanders, studying under the OC, right? So he had the opportunity to learn a lot, right? So when he came out today, although no one was expecting Staub to play, we shouldn't be surprised that the kid knew what to do in that offense. So let's break it down one by one. First quarterback, they started the game. Salter started the game, played well, right? I don't know why he was taken out, but he was taken out of the game after two scores. First drive, great, touchdown. Second drive, should have ran through the ball, bam, resulted to a field goal, 10-0, right? At some other point, it became 10-7, and then they came back, they weren't moving the ball. It's sort of like, okay, what's going on here? Is this going to be a repeat of last week, right? Juju came in, good play here and there, but there was a lot of screen passes, right? So I can't really blame him. The gentleman just he threw the ball like 4 times, so you cannot blame him for nothing, right? But he's a kid. He's gonna have an opportunity to lead this team going forward, no problem. Then again, Ryan Staub came in, took over, and electrified the stadium. He electrified the stadium to the point where the student section were chanting his name. And all you could hear was Ryan Staub, Ryan Staub, Ryan Staub. But one thing that we, the fans out there, we didn't know is that this was all Coach Prime's plan all along, right? Ryan, in his post-game interview, even said it. Coach Prime told him that he was going to be playing in the game on Friday. So, from my own perspective, the insight that I've been able to generate is that Coach Prime wanted to play these guys on a rotational, like everyone gets 2 drives, right? And let's see what you can do with your 2 drives. But it just happened that when Ryan Staub came in, right? When Ryan Staub came in, he was doing so well that he got more than 2 drives. And I've seen a lot of comments and all that good stuff where, the fact that Kaden Salter didn't come in until after like the fourth quarter, and he didn't really do so well and all that good stuff. And so now they're saying, is there a quarterback battle? Does that mean Ryan Staub is going to be QB1 going forward and stuff like that? I don't think so. I think this game was considered a preseason game. It was considered a game to evaluate a lot of players, right? That's why it was considered a game to see what we have in the quarterback room. If Kaden Salter is not giving us what we want and he's not doing what we want, we need to have another guy ready, right? We also need to not have Juju's first time be in a critical game. So this game was taken as a preseason game, right? If the schedule was not lopsided the way it is, they should be able to have, maybe if, let's say, they were playing Wyoming next week, they would have had the opportunity to do the same thing with Wyoming. But next week, this Friday, which a short week actually, they're going to Houston, right? So if we're going to Houston, which is Big 12 play, the coaches had to make sure they knew something about their quarterbacks and they knew who they could rely on. So with that being said, for me, I think Kaden Salter is still your starter. That brother didn't do anything that makes him not your starter, right? He's earned the starting position, right? He's learned from his mistake to an extent, right? And the one thing about Kaden Salter, right, and this team's offense compared to last team offense is they come out hot. They come out hot. They come out like with good drives and scoring the football. Last year, even under Shedeur Sanders, it took a time for the offense to warm up, right? Because if you notice last year, the offense will have you know, the defense will go and like, hey, 3 and out. And then the offense comes on, and then it takes them a while to get going. And then they go 3 and out. Maybe like 2 drives of 3 and out before they start they get settled and they start going, and then they score a touchdown. But this season, under Caden Salter so far, the first drive they come out the gate, they're driving the ball and they're scoring touchdowns. You cannot take that away from him. The gentleman still needs time to settle down, and I believe he's going to be successful once he settles down and gets out of his own head, right? And just like play football, right? I think he's right now trying to put a lot on himself, from my own opinion, right? This is his last year. There's a lot of stuff riding on his NFL dreams. So he's trying to please. And I don't know if there's been any like NFL recruiters or anything that have like talked to him and giving him like a stand-in or advice or whatever the case might be, or what they want to see from him. And he's trying to showcase that probably. But from my perspective, what Caden needs to do is play football just like he did when he was a kid. The game he loves. So that means if you need to take the check down passes, take the check down passes. If you need to run, run. If you need to then throw the ball, throw the ball. If you need to, if your throw is a 5 yard gain, that's fine. Now it's not every time that you need to like try to throw the ball down the field and get like a 30 yard, 40 yard, or 50 yard gain. Just play football, right? Because the one thing fans have is they have amnesia, right? Retrograde amnesia. They have short term memories. Fans have short term memories when you're winning. Because at the end of the day, they have an opportunity to argue. Yes, we might not have done well, yada, 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 but we won the game. That's a fan's ammunition. We won the game. So, Caden, as long as you position your team to win, most fans forget what happened. Most fans forget that you didn't run, when you had the chance. They forget that you didn't throw the ball the right way or you didn't get the right read. All they care is you won the game. Football. Just play football, right? So, from my own perspective and my insights on this QB battle is the battle is between Juju Lewis and Ryan Staub. That's it. Ryan Staub performance just showcased that, hey, he's earned the opportunity to move up in the depth chart. So that means he's going from a 3 to a 2. Because at the end of the day, it's Delaware. It's not that Ryan Staub. Hey, okay, let me take a pause. Ryan Staub did great. And this is no bashing, or this is not taking away to the great execution. But the one thing is, this is still Delaware. It's not like they were down bad and Ryan Staub just came and just like brought them back from the slump or anything like that. He went out, had the opportunity, and was successful with his opportunity. That's all that matters. That is all that matters. Great job to him. Kudos to him. Right? That's what it's all about. Right? But all this does, right, is it allows Ryan Staub to move up the depth chart, meaning from QB3 to QB2. Hayden Salter is still your starter. Going into to Houston, you have to make sure that Hayden Salter is your starter, because he in this game, he didn't do anything to lose that job, right? But one thing that I know for sure is, now, if Caden is your starter, when you feel like Caden is trying to not play the way you want him to play, or is trying to like slump, and you need someone to come in and change the pace of the game and rejuvenate your offense, now you know Ryan Staub can do that for you. It's a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing to know. So I'm not gonna keep like going on and on and on. I just want to let everyone know this was a beautiful game. The Colorado Buffs are 1-1. You cannot ask for better, right? This is the if we're being truthful, right? This game was treated like a preseason game. Was treated as a game to assess what the team has, right? So beyond the quarterback aspect of things, kudos to the defense, man. Great job. Colorado defense, they played a good game, right? They played a good game. And the beautiful thing is there are a lot of guys that played so well, right? And took advantage of their opportunity, right? So a big congratulations to the defense, and also, you know, a big congratulations to Brown, Jeremiah Brown, JB, right? When I started the show, I said there are a lot of different stories, the different storylines that we can follow. JB wanted to transfer, right? He actually, I think, he put his name in the transfer portal, and later on withdrew it, right? So imagine him having the opportunity to play today, and he made a statement from sacks to, if you look, the 4th and 1 stop, right? He saw the hole at the B gap in the B gap and plugged it and stopped it and stopped that run play. 4-1 turnovers on down. That's when opportunity meets preparation. Kudos to JD, man. That's a good thing. Taking advantage of your opportunity. Another player that I believe played well, right, was also Ben Fennesit, right? If you look at the hustle play, if you every coach preaches that the hustle play, running all the way from pretty much like 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, right? Because it was 1-on-1 with a receiver, right? The play didn't go his way. The hustle play across the field to come and punch that ball and rip it out for JB to then recover it. Hustle. That's like four star, 5-star ranking when they get back to to the film room tomorrow while they're evaluating today's game. So you cannot count them out. You cannot count them out. See, for me, I don't care what they do, what Colorado does, as long as whatever it is they're doing is getting them the W. Sometimes as fans, we get so caught up and, oh, like this is the way it's been. There needs to be a starter. This is the way it's been. There needs to be this and that. Whatever Colorado does that gets them a W is good, because at the end of the day, who's going to get into the playoff? The person that wins the most, right? So if switching QBs mid game gets them the W, so be it. Because we just at some point as fans, we just have to trust the coaches and let them do what they want to do. We have every right to debate it. We have every right to say what we don't like, and the fact that they did this and all that good stuff. That's fine. But at the end of the day, if it results into a W, we can complain with a smile on our face. That's it. You know, Ryan Staub did a good job. Do I think he's going to be QB1? No. Do I think Kevin Salter is still going to start? Yes. Do I think Kevin Salter did the right things to not to start next week? Yes. Do I think Ryan Staub did enough to move up the depth chart? Yes. Do I think Ryan Staub is going to play again Yes. Do I think Julian Lewis is going to play again? Yes. Do I care when they play? No. Do I care if whatever whenever chance they get to play it results to a W? Hell yes. Hell yes. Right? Starting the game doesn't mean anything. As today's result showed, right? The person that started the game, right, is not the talk of the game, right? Is not the most outstanding player, right? Ryan Staub that came in third is the most outstanding player that we're all talking about now. So who starts the game doesn't matter as long as it's a W at the end of the game, right? Because one thing that I notice when we're talking about if I want to be the devil's advocate, right, is the differentiation between Ryan Staub and the other two quarterbacks is you can tell who has been in the system longer. That's it. You can tell who has been in the system longer because when Ryan Staub was in there, the play calling was a little bit different. Yes. And Ryan was in the pocket, stood there with poise, confidence, decision making under pressure, and all that good stuff. Because if you notice, I think his first two throws was almost interceptions, right? But it happens. His confidence, right? His decision making got better. He settled down, right? But also, Caden has only been under Sherman's leadership for a few months. It's gonna be different, right? It's gonna be different. And if we allow them the opportunity to learn, make mistakes, and grow, and we have the opportunity to have more than one quarterback, things are gonna change for the better. And that's all that matters. That things continue to change. I'm excited for Houston. Yeah, I'm excited for Houston. But if there's one thing I know about Coach Prime is he's not going to punish a kid because of Coach Prime's decisions to play all those quarterbacks. He's not. So clip this. Next week, here's going to be the lineup. Salter is going to play first drive. He's going to come in. We're going to see how he does, right? When we notice that Slaughter is starting to get into a slump, because I notice there are points where he starts to get into a slump. Either he's mentally fatigued or whatever the case might be. There's this slump era that he gets into, right? We don't need it. We don't need to wait for him to get out of the slump anymore. Just put Ryan Staub in there for a couple of drives. Get the team ahead. Get the team back to where it needs to be. And also the fact that now your opposition, such as Houston, they're going to have to be preparing for more than one quarterback is a good thing because now it's going to waste their time. It's going to add to their workload, right? So now when you put in Ryan Staub after you put in Kaden Salter and all that good stuff, they're going to have to change the way they play defense. And you can catch them lacking, right? Which is what happened today. Because most likely today, I can tell you Delaware was not prepared for Ryan Staub. Delaware was not prepared to play Ryan Staub today. They were probably prepared for Juju because coach announced it that Juju was going to play, but Ryan Staub was not announced. So Delaware was not prepared for him. So when he came in, he was able to catch the defense lacking. And that's always going to happen. That is always going to happen. So I see a lot of people online crashing out saying, "Oh, I don't like how this was done. to the quarterbacks and how the quarterbacks this, and we don't know what we don't know anymore. Who's gonna be the starter? Who's gonna be this? Who's QB1? Who's QB2? My answer to that is who cares? Who cares who starts the game? Because sometimes whoever starts the game might not be the one to finish it. And here is a team that is still trying to figure out how are we going to ensure that we are playing in the postseason? How are we going to make sure that we are playing in the Big 12 championship? How are we going to figure out that we are playing in what is it called? In the playoffs, the college football playoffs. This is a preseason game. You can clip this. They're going to do the same thing again when they're playing Wyoming, because that's a game you're expected to win and win convincingly. So why not use that as a testing ground for Wyoming? I would probably just do the same thing. Have Kaden Salter play 2 drives, and then split the rest of the ball game between Ryan Staub and Juju. That's what I would recommend for Wyoming, right? And for Houston, have Kaden Salter start the game. If you feel like he's not pulling his weight, put in Ryan Staub. As long as it gets you a W, because then you're 2-1. You go to Wyoming, you dominate, right? That's 3-1. You're better off than most people in your conference. Because if you look at it, what Kansas, is it Kansas? No, it's Kansas State. They just lost to Army, right? And now they're what? They're 0-2. No, they're 2-1. No, they're 1-2 probably. They're 1-2, right? They're 1-2, right? Yeah. If you finish those games 3-1, you're gonna be better off than most people. So it doesn't matter. Yeah. So my thought on this matter, right? And I totally understand that fans are have every right to their opinion, and they have every right to crash and speak their mind and stuff like that. This is what football is, right? This is what football is. It is entertainment, right? It is assessment. It is fun. So, because imagine if the coaches don't use this opportunity to figure out what they have, and they just ride with one guy, and it leads to losses after losses after losses. The question from the fans would be, why not put or try the other quarterbacks that we have? And now that they're doing it, we have issues. For me, I don't care. As long as it leads to a W. An in-game assessment is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. But moving on, right? The entire team played a great game. Special teams played well. Mates two, or team who mate, right? Played a great game, right? And shout out to Mattis for stopping that, for stopping the punt at the 1 yard line. Special team is looking good, right? Defense is getting better, right? The turnovers are coming. The sacks are coming. The team overall is looking good. We just need the offense to click a lot better. So because if you do an assessment of this team from last year to this year, I've said it before, they're doing a lot of things right. Let's take it from the offensive side. I've said it before. They're starting the game out strong. hot, driving the ball to a touchdown, to a score, right? Last year, they weren't doing that. Last year, they weren't kicking touchbacks. Teams had the opportunity to return the ball against them. This year, the story is different. Touchbacks upon touchbacks upon touchbacks. Last year, the punts were good, but this year, they're better. Last year, the punts were good. The real mate did a good job with his punts. But this year so far, the punts are much better. So just like that, special team play is different and much better, and it's positioning the team to win more games. Because if they had that special team play that they have this year, last year, they probably would have won more games. Defensive play is getting better. So the beautiful thing is there's room for growth, yes. But if we have two or three quarterbacks and we're trying to figure out who's good for what, games like this are when you're supposed to do it. Yes, you can see them during fall camp or at practice, but it's one thing when you're playing an actual game. So I'm not gonna stretch this any longer. My plea to fans out there is no need to crash. The Colorado Buffaloes are 1-1. There's an opportunity to get better. There's an opportunity to figure out how we can use the talents in all the different rooms. If playing two quarterbacks is going to result in playing in the college football, you know, playoffs, we need to all embrace it. If playing three quarterbacks is going to lead to playing in the college football playoffs, we need to all embrace it. There's no reason to be sad. We won the game convincingly. We've learned a few things, right? Now we're getting ready to play Houston. Now Houston is going having to go back to the drawing board and figure out who are we going to have to prepare for? How are we going to call our defense when this quarterback is in versus when this quarterback is in versus when this quarterback is in in a short week turnaround? Because the game is on Friday. There's no need to be upset at Coach Prime. The man had a plan to play all three quarterbacks, and he did just that, right? And before I wrap up, the running backs, man, the running backs did a good job. And see, this is one thing, right? Delaware came prepared to play against Micah because they saw the way he played last week. And for some reason, Micah just did he couldn't really get going the way he did last week. But that's why you play more than one talent. Trackhock came in there and did great. And the other running back also came in there and did great. That's why you have to play more than one players. As long as it results to a W. But if you don't believe me, just watch. Next week, Caden Salter is going to play, start the game. If he's not playing well, Ryan Staub is going to come in and change things. This quarterback battle, where's my camera? Right here. Mark my words. This quarterback battle is for Caden Salter to lose. Caden Salter, hear me. This is yours to lose, right? So your gameplay, your preparedness as a senior, experienced dual threat quarterback will lead to you either winning this competition or losing it, but it is yours. You are QB1, but it is yours to lose. So my urge to you is don't lose it. Just play football. Keep it simple. When you need to use your legs, use it. And most importantly, when you're running the ball, run up the field. If you look at the film, you're trying to run, close to like out of bounds and stuff like that, but you keep losing yards when if you just go straight up the field, you gain more yards. Learn from your mistake. Get better. You're the future. There's a reason why they brought you here, right? It is your job to lose. So once again, don't lose it. And that's my time. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Until next time, make sure you like this video, tell your loved ones, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you again. Thank you very much for watching The Insight. Stay blessed.